Yo, welcome to the show where the energy's flown. It's your boy dropping heat. This is the Ozone. Step into the arena where legends are made. From the courts to the fields, watch the highlights played. Football, hoops, baseball, it's all fair game. If it's sports, we bring the fire, put respect on the name. Stats and debates, we break it all down. From the rookies to the goats who wear the crown. No halftime, all grind, we're setting the tone. It's prime time, baby, you're in the Ozone. Yo, it's passion, precision, the plays we dissect. From the underdogs, grinding to the Hall of Fame vets. This is more than a podcast, it's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right, welcome to the Ozone.
You have entered the Ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here, and you guys officially are in the Ozone. You know it's your boy Omar here with my co-host, super producer Dave. Brother, another week. How are we feeling?
Brother, I think we're just going to have to jump into this. Who cares how I'm feeling right now? Because there's a lot of confusion going on right now, and we got some breaking news last night. Luckily, it was last night and not this morning, because we had some time to digest this. But let's just, Omar, break the news to them.
Yeah, man, we had some breaking news. It really took us off the script on this one. As the Dallas Mavericks reported by Shams, which I've been on record for apologizing, but Shams reported last night that the Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic. Yes, you've heard that correctly. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic along with Max Kleber and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. Max Christie is attached to it with a 2029 first round pick. Utah's also included in the deal to kind of negotiate, kind of fix up the money and that sort of thing. But, brother, we had a full-fledged script. We were ready to open up with what we were going to talk about. This news comes out. This is an insane deal. Just for the record, guys, deals like this don't happen in the middle of the season. It's too complex. You got big stars making a lot of money. Usually picks are part of this deal. It is very difficult to come up with a deal like this in the middle of the season. Better known from hearing that the rumors is that Dallas Mavericks contacted the Lakers 2 days prior to this deal becoming official. So they got this done really quickly, brother.
And this is one of those things that you feel like people question, why did the Mavs do this? Because if you look across everywhere, everyone is grading this as like an F. If you're doing like the school grades, they're getting an F when it comes to this trade. And of course, the Lakers, they win this trade. The Mavs are in win now mode right now. You have a great team. They're a really good defensive team, by the way, and you just upgraded that by getting Anthony Davis. When healthy, he is one of the best players in the league. The Lakers, obviously, there's a lot to dive into that but just regarding with the Mavs, it's just you think about why is it that they moved him, and there's reports coming on that there was concerns of his health, and then also just the supermax contract that is coming in the years to come. There's that part, but then there's also the other part that is just like, why would you trade your star player for what you got in return, regardless of how you feel about Anthony Davis? And it feels like they were probably forced, their hand was forced in this situation. And we don't know about it. I'm sure somewhere down the line we'll get a report of why Luka was traded. But it just seems to me that something else was at play besides those things. You think about the health, you think about the Supermax contract, but that is your star player. If you're going to move anywhere, you were in the finals. Like, it's not like you've been in the bottom of the league. So it's just more so like something else is at play that we don't know about, and we may not be privy to know that information till sometime later on.
Yeah. You're hearing, it's so funny that you don't hear. Look, Luka Doncic uh getting traded is insane.
Yes.
The guy's 25 years old. The guy's arguably the best offensive player in the league. Phenomenal talent, global superstar. I think that's the most shocking thing is that Dallas is, why the heck would you trade that? And I'm agreeing with this. But I would say that people are receiving this trade a little wrong because this trade doesn't make the Lakers better now. It doesn't make them win now. This trade, I'm not looking at the Lakers now with Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and going, okay, this team can compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder. This team can make a finals run. Guys, Luka Doncic is 25. He does special things. Can him and LeBron shock the world? I wouldn't bet against it. But this is a post LeBron move. LeBron, we're gonna get into it on This Week in Knicks. LeBron showed out in Madison Square Garden.
as we
The
expected.
narrative out, yeah, as we expect. Not me. I thought we were gonna smoke him, but
No, I
whatever.
mean LeBron
But
likes to play in MSG. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. The guy shows out, but the narrative was almost like if LeBron, hey, is this your last game in the Garden? Is this your last final hurrah? Is this the last dance, so to speak? So this is a move to, they're the Lakers. The Lakers are like the Yankees. The Lakers are like, they're a story franchise where it's like they're always looking ahead of the next star where they can build around for 10 years, and that's the face of the franchise. That's what this move is. Now, the thing that I have a problem with this deal is that not experts, but just more fans in general are having this issue that, wow, like Dallas got fleeced. Now, I would say fleece is a very strong word because because they're not getting a bologna sandwich in return. They're getting Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a 9-time All-Star, 5-time All Defensive, All Defense, 5-time All NBA, top 75 NBA, a 3-time blocking champion, an NBA champion. Right now, Anthony Davis is averaging 25.7 points a game, 11.9 rebounds, shooting 52% from the field. He's played 42 games. When healthy, Anthony Davis is arguably a top 5 player, not top 5 power forward, not top 5 center, top 5 player. Now I know injuries has really is really derailed, his career. His career would have been even greater, like barring any injuries. And I get that. I get that. But he's having a healthy year this year. This is a win now move for Dallas. What
Absolutely.
did Dallas struggle in against the Celtics in the finals was their defense. Unfortunately, as great as Luka Doncic is on the offensive side of the ball, he is a liability on defense. The man plays none. He's had questions about his conditioning. He has come into seasons not in the greatest shape. He's had to play his way into shape. And you got to ask yourself, a franchise guy that you're putting all the chips in, do you want to have conditioning issues? Do you want to have that all the time? Do you want to have to go over that every year? So to all sum it up on my end, brother, do I make the trade if I'm Dallas? Hell no, I don't. I don't trade Luka Doncic. But I get it. That's what makes it so weird. The surprising thing is like you traded Luka Doncic. Like you would think if Luka ever got traded, it would be for like that poor George to the Clippers, OKC kind of package. And I get that. But you also got to factor in who Dallas received. Dallas weren't just getting Max Christie and Marquise Morris and a draft pick. They got Anthony Davis in return.
Hmm.
And maybe Dallas feels like Kyrie Irving, who's also having a good year, along with Anthony Davis, and they have an influx of good players around them. Now when they get Lively back, Dallas, AD can be back at the power forward, which he wanted the Lakers to do. He wanted the Lakers to get a center so he can move back to the power forward role. It's crazy. I wouldn't like, you know what I mean? I get both sides. I can see why Dallas fans may be upset about losing Luka Doncic, and I can see how Laker fans are excited for getting Luka Doncic.
I mean, I made a comment of it. It is the succession plan for LeBron, and you have another young talent to pair him with. Austin Reeve is balling. Like honestly, that guy has surprised me and how good he has become this year. You can see the development and you can appreciate what LeBron probably took him under his wing, and he's definitely learning a lot and he's playing his butt off. This trade definitely doesn't look right in the standard if you're just a Mavs fan. And of course, if you the thing is that yes, we can all grade it. And whenever a trade is placed, there's always grades that are placed on these trades. But guess what? At the end of the day, nothing turns out like you don't know the results until later on. The Lakers made a trade for Anthony Davis, and while it sounded great because you have Anthony Davis and LeBron, and guess what? It worked because there was at least one championship from there. These trades, that's why they're made. They're either going to improve one of these teams. Now, hopefully both teams succeed, but that doesn't always be the case. You have the Lakers, they won a championship from Anthony Davis. You see that in other sports as well when they make that gamble. They made the Yankees. The Yankees made a trade for Alex Rodriguez, and while there are a lot of people who feel certain ways about Alex Rodriguez, at the end of the day, a championship was brought from him being there, especially during that run. You take these gambles to make your team better, and the Lakers have done what they needed to do because LeBron is getting older. At the end of the day, I don't imagine him playing till 43 or whatever the case may be. But at least they have someone who they know they can rest their shoulders on. Now, does Luka change his conditioning coming into the league, knowing that he has the Lakers on his shoulder? Who knows? Because these Europeans really do trade the like they treat the league like it's a job and more than it's like their passion. Um, but we'll see. We've seen where trades they do a lot for the league. Like a few years ago, Rudy Gobert and that trade just set the league ablaze. Now everybody felt like the superstar player needed to go for at least 5 picks, and other players, and that's kind of what affected other players being moved around, and everyone gauged how the market should be. So this is the other reason why I think a lot of fans are looking at this trade like, damn, just Luka for Anthony Davis. Of course, other piece involved, but that's the headline. So it's more so one of those things that it's just that trade did do a lot for the league. And then there's another trade that we can talk about that affect the Lakers that was blocked. We have Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Chris Paul was supposed to be traded to the Lakers, and that who knows what would have happened if we had Kobe and Chris Paul together. That could have been amazing. But that ended up with having to move Paul Gasol, and the league ended up blocking it. And this is a different NBA from that time. David Stern was the commissioner at that time. So I don't know, man. This
Yeah,
is
this is
this is
it.
it's looking good for the Lakers, but I understand where Mavs fans are upset.
Yeah, I think Alan Hahn, MSG's Alan Hahn said it best. He said, "This wasn't a trade, this was a divorce." It just seems that way. Everyone
Mhm.
saw the viral clip last year, and Dave's gonna enter it in right now, of that clip of, Luka Doncic drinking the beer, celebrating the Mavs going to the NBA Finals. And you see Michael Finley, former Dallas great, now on the the management team for Dallas, takes the beer, and you can literally look at Luka's face like, bro, really? Like, you know what I mean? That kind of confirmed Dallas. Dallas is like headaches with his conditioning and that sort of thing, because it's like you probably looking at it like, bro, because I can't see why you would get upset about the guy drinking a beer. The guy was in the back. He wasn't really in front of cameras on television and that sort of stuff. So it's like, it's more of a behind the scenes kind of thing. Why would you take the beer? But they probably did that because they're like, you know what? You probably have too much of this along with chicken wings and whatever it is. You know what I mean?
We
So
don't want
it's
you
it's
bloated.
um yeah, they don't want you bloated. So it's a conditioning thing. I think the NBA Finals, Luka being a defensive liability, they probably saw something that they didn't like. But just the full details of the trade, I know we touched on it in the beginning. I did say that Utah Jazz was also included in the deal. They received in this deal Jalen Hood Shafino, the 2025 Clippers second round pick, and a 2025 Mavs second round pick. So the Jazz were just there to just kind of help this trade come to fruition. Luka Doncic has missed, I believe, 24 games so far this season. Don't know when he's returning. AD has missed a couple games. Rumor has it he could have played against the Knicks on Saturday night. But and then now you're hearing whether LeBron approved his deal. You're hearing some rumors that LeBron and AD were having some issues. LeBron immediately debunked that, but take that for what it is. I do find it a bit odd that The Lakers were notified 2 days before the deal happened. Apparently, Rich Paul, who's LeBron's closest friend and agent to Anthony Davis and the head of Clutch Sports, uh, was aware of this. So I find it very odd that Rich Paul knew about this and didn't share that with LeBron. I find that odd. I'm not saying LeBron wanted AD traded. I just find it a bit odd. That's like you, brother. You knowing something and not telling me. You know what I mean? Like that's very hard to believe.
Right. And
But
the GM strikes again.
the GM, this is a wait and see kind of trade. Um, I think Dallas got better, but Luka's such a polarizing star that you just thought he would be a lifer. You thought he would be a lifer, and this just shows that this is still a business and that no one's safe. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
Just when you think the untouchable is the untouchable, then the untouchable gets touched, and that's what it is. So you guys, let us know. This is a big, big story right now. Not in just in the NBA, in sports. This is a big story. Let us know what you think. Do you think that the Dallas Mavericks got fleeced? Do you think it was, do you think Dallas got better? What's your thoughts on Luka now coming to the Lakers? Let us know in the comments below. But it's a wait and see game, brother, and it's going it's going to be interesting. I think Dallas plays the Lakers at the end of the month. I doubt Luka will probably be available then, but then they got a meeting in April. Where I can definitely see both guys playing, and that'd be Luka's return to Dallas, and I think he gonna drop like 65. But
Yeah. And as we're
but
about to touch on with the Knicks, I mean, we play them both with the new teams going forward in March, so we'll see how that turns out
yeah,
too.
yes, yeah. So we've only played Dallas and the Lakers obviously once this year, and um and I think it's gonna be in the Garden. The Dallas we got to play in the Garden, and obviously the second meeting with the Lakers will be in LA. But speaking of the Knicks, as you touched on, brother. Let's talk about the Knicks and this week in Knicks.
This week in Knicks.
All right, y'all. This week in Knicks, we were right. We were right. We both predicted 2-1 records, but we were both wrong on who was good, where we were getting that L and where we were getting that W. So, guys, the Knicks finished this week 2-1. Uh, what a dominating win against the Memphis Grizzlies to start off the week Monday, where they won 143 to 106, followed by I would it wasn't would I say dominant? It wasn't probably dominant, but it was a great performance from the Knicks on Wednesday as they beat the Denver Nuggets 122 to 112. Little speed bump on Saturday night as they hosted LeBron James and the Lakers. Prime time, Saturday night. Lakers, Knicks lose 128 to 112. Brother, let's talk about it.
All right, so we both went 2-1. We obviously are now 1-2 in our predictions for this past week. So I'll put the score up so everyone can see again. But I mean, fine. We lost one of the games, and we did predict the 2-1 record, and it doesn't hurt us so much because we were coming off a streak. We played against the Grizzlies. We had one lead change in that game. We had 36 points off of turnovers. We held Morant to 10 points, and
Shout out to
Brid,
Mikael
Brid,
Bridges, put the clamps on him.
and then Bridges went off for 28 points. OG had 6 steals, and we had 20 steals combined as a team. So the things that I have made comments about how the Knicks have lost their identity when it comes to defense. It seems things are changing from what they were playing from the beginning of the league or beginning of the year to what they're playing now. The standard is moving up with their defense. They are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 10th or somewhere around that range as far as defensive standing. So there's an improvement that I wanted to see, and we're seeing that now. So then we also played the Nuggets. We had points off of turnovers. We had 23 versus their 3 in the Nuggets game. 60 points in the paint. Brunson with 30. Cat double double. OG 23. I mean, what more do you want? And we won the game too, and it's also a game against a championship contending team. So this is where you're seeing the things that are just like, all right, the Knicks are not just like, it's not just New York fans being hype, as we saw in our comments on TikTok, where New York fans are just being loud to be loud. We're actually seeing improvements in our team in the games that we should be winning. Yes, we may lose a few, but there are going to be teams that we need to beat. The Thunder are teams that we need to beat. The Lakers, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets. Those are teams that we want to see because if we make it to the end, that is a team we want to make sure that we're not getting smoked. And then, of course, in the
Yeah.
Lakers
Oh,
game,
God.
my bad. In the Lakers
No,
game,
no,
the
no.
Lakers had 37 in the fourth. Austin Reeve coming into his own with 27 points, and he is, I mentioned him before, he is a player that I am watching out for, especially in the future to come with Luka Doncic. LeBron had a triple double, and then there was an off night for the Knicks.
Yeah, you nailed it. There's no need to panic. You're gonna lose a couple games here and there. The Knicks are 7-3 in their last 10. They just won five straight before the loss of the Lakers. They still sit two behind Boston and for the second spot. The Knicks are in a good position. The defense has improved as of late. As you touched on, especially in that game in Memphis where Mikal Bridges and Anunoby and they made it really difficult for John Morant. And that was a really well balanced game between the Knicks um, with how people were scoring. When you said with Brunson at 20, Towns at 24, 28 from Bridges, Anunoby with 15. So it was a well balanced thing. The Denver game was also a good one. The Denver, as you touched on. The Knicks just play well, and they played really well against Denver, and that's why I had them beating Denver. They just play well against Denver. It's the matchup, styles make fights, and that game, as you touched on, Brunson went off with 30 points, and he shot efficient, 10 of 16 from the field. When it came to the Lakers, man, the Lakers just came ready. The Lakers came defensively ready for everything. They fronted Cat. They made it really difficult for him. I was a little let down with how Cat performed. I still wanted him to adjust and kind of make those adjustments. But it was just a rare night. Look, let's just put it like this. Brunson shot 7 of 18. He has 17 points. Towns had 11. Anunoby had a good start, and we're going to touch on that a little bit as far as Anunoby, who had to exit the game due to an injury, non-contact injury at that. But you look at, come on, a plus minus. Brunson was a negative 17. Carlton Towns a negative 15. Bridges a negative 9. Um, the Hart's a negative 20, which is crazy because Hart was actually the only one who had a good game against the Lakers. But you're gonna get one of those. You're gonna get one of those. I just, I hope with this week where the Knicks look dominating, that people just don't look at this loss to the Lakers and look at it like oh, here we go again, because it's not that. You're gonna lose. You're not gonna win every game. So I'm for the most part, in a nutshell, I'm excited for the Knicks. How they played last week, and I feel good. I feel good about our boys. I feel good. They're turning things around. Now let's talk about this OG Anunoby situation. This is very scary because Anunoby has a history of injuries. Now, from as of this recording, the Knicks are diagnosing it as a foot sprain. X-rays were negative. He's going to get an MRI on Monday, which is the day of the airing of this episode. So we're hoping everything's all right. If it's a foot sprain, that's cool. Some people are rumoring, well, he did grab his Achilles. He's been dealing with some calf issues. So I just hope it's not that. I hope it's a foot sprain. But the problem is with this is that the Knicks are not really transparent when it comes to disclosing their injuries, as we know last year. You know what I mean? Especially in the playoffs where, OG had the hamstring issue, and he tried to make it a go in Game 7, where the Knicks knew he wasn't ready, and they played him, and then the whole Mitchell Robinson thing. He's going to be ready by January. Now it's February. Now all of a sudden he's going to be cleared to run sprints. He's going to be cleared to sprint and contact. So the Knicks are not the most trustworthy when it comes to the injury reports. So I'm a little nervous about this. And OG Anunoby has played every game so far this season, And it just sucks right now because we're going to be facing the Boston Celtics with this week, and we're going to cover it in a minute. I wanted all our guys after that first game where we got smoked by them. This game I circled because it's like, okay, we're going to be already 40 plus games into the season. Now, guys are adjusting. Let's see how we fare against the Celtics. So I'm hoping it's just a little minor injury. I don't see him. If I could have it my way, I would probably rest in the next two games. And then if he could play for the Celtics, play for the Celtics. So let's get into that, brother. So the Knicks this week have three games. So they start off tonight, Monday. The Houston Rockets live at the Garden. Then they have Tuesday, so it's a back-to-back. They got Toronto at Toronto. And then they get 3 days off yet again. And Saturday night prime time against the defending champion Boston Celtics. Brother, what's your prediction for the week?
Oof. I'm gonna go with 2-1. And
Okay.
I think we take the Rockets in the first game. I know they did second in the Western Conference, but I do think we take them. The Rockets are coming into their own as well. They are a young team as far as the team average of age, with some good leadership around them, with Steve Adams and other guys around. But I do think we take that game. Then we have Toronto, which is 13th in the Eastern Conference, and I don't see us losing that game. But it is a back to back, so we'll see how that turns out. And then Saturday we play the Celtics, so I'm gonna go with us losing that game. Now it's not to say that it's gonna be us. We're gonna get smoked like we did game one, but it's gonna be something where I feel like the Celtics pull it out in the end. So I'm gonna go with 2-1.
Um, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Houston's no longer
The laughing stock.
the automatic win anymore. They have the second best record in the Western Conference, I believe in the league. But I think it's the second best in the West. Second best in the West, right? Because
Yes.
it's Cleveland and OKC. Um, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm looking at the schedule now. I don't like the back to back. Uh Man, I don't want I think we're going 1-2.
Okay.
I think we go 1-2. I don't know if we get that. I don't know if we get that Houston game.
Okay.
With no OG. Now I get it. Houston's not a great shooting team, but they have a lot of size. Houston has a lot of wings um, that give the Knicks problems on the defensive end. They're a very good defensive team. Um, Man, I'm really stuck on that Houston one. I don't know why I'm stuck on that Houston one. Yeah, I think we dropped the ball on the Houston one. I think we come back and we beat Toronto, and I think we lose to the Celtics. I do. I think we lose to the Celtics. You know what? Nah, no. The way I'm looking at this schedule, no, no. Way I'm looking at this schedule, because you know what it is. As I'm talking about the Houston thing, I'm like, we could probably get away with it without OG. So I'm going 2-1. But I'm going, we win the Houston, we win Toronto, I'm following you, and we lose to the Celtics.
Okay.
You know what? No. Sorry. I'm switching it up again. We're losing to Houston. We're going to lose to Houston. We're going to beat Toronto, and we're going to beat the Celtics. So I'm going 2-1. A loss to Houston. I don't know. Like Houston's really well. I think the Knicks are going to be fired up for that Celtics game. This is why I'm giving us the slight edge. I think it's a close one. Um, and Boston, Boston has had a couple games where they haven't looked like themselves. So I'm definitely gonna go 2-1. We lose to Houston, we beat Toronto in the back to back. We come back, we get our get back against the Boston Celtics, and we finish 2-1 for the week.
All right. And I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I'm considering with my thing, it's not to, I'm not going to change my pick. It's more so like with OG. I would love if they rested him. Just rest him. Like we're going into the All Star game next weekend, um, or soon. We're going into the All Star game soon, and I
Well,
imagine
hold on, bro. Now that you mentioned OG, are we factoring OG being available this week?
I'm counting on them sitting him for this week.
Got it. Ooh, then.
That's why I also see us losing that game against the Celtics. Um, I just if you're personally asking me, like I give up the whatever the record is and sacrifice that for health, but I want a healthy OG down the stretch.
Yeah, you got to look big. You got to think bigger picture. So I agree with that. If that's the case, I'm hoping that we get OG back, but I'll stick to 2-1. The heck with it. I'm sticking 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised we go 1-2 and we lose to Houston and Boston. But we're going 2-1. Guys, as we said, the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis news just shook up everything on the show. We were gonna lead with broke Hal Steinbrenner crying broke about him him saying on an interview that he did with the Yes Network that it's difficult for most of us owners to be able to do those kind of things that they're doing. Basically, that's what Hal Steinbrenner said when referencing the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm gonna do a quick note, brother. I don't even want to talk about this. We're running a little long anyway on this show. But I'll just put it like this. In March of 2024, Forbes had the Yankees valued at $7.5 billion. That's $2 billion more than the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers payroll right now is at $388 million. Okay, the Yankees projected payroll right now is 302 million, which is still third in the majors, right behind so they're around, the $301 million tax tier. They're slightly below the Philadelphia Phillies. Look, Hal Steinbrenner, you charge a boatload of money for them chicken tenders and French fries buckets. The food there is expensive. Luxury suites are expensive. You're selling out the joint every year. I don't want to hear that you're crying broke kind of thing. Oh, that you can't do what the Dodgers do. Yes, you can. You just choose not to. It's a difference. It's a difference in not wanting to do it and saying you can't do it. I can't go and buy a Bentley right now. I can't. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Now, I can't buy a chicken cutlet sub, then that's different. Because that's me saying I choose not to. I don't want to. Doesn't say I can't. It's a big difference. I'm not trying to hear that how he does spend money on the team, but as I touched on in the pilot very few weeks back, he's a more of a business kind of guy when it comes to operating with the Yankees more than he is a baseball. If the baseball impacts the business, he's on board, and it's just that simple as that. So you got anything to touch on that, bro? Or we
I
can
think
just.
Mr. Steinbrenner is rolling in his grave right now, hearing him say that because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, the Dodgers are doing this not because they have more money than you. They're doing this because they're deferring the payments. You're telling me you can't do that? Yes, I get it. It's a gamble, but guess what? If the Dodgers come away with another championship from these deferred payments, then it was all worth it. At the end of the day, don't be surprised if the Dodgers value goes up another billion by next time 2020, what we're in 25, 26.
Yeah,
Don't be surprised because at the end of the day, they're doing the right moves. And I guess like what pisses me off about this whole thing is just that the Yankees, you are known for having the money, and it's not even just being known for. You have the most money. You just choose not to spend it.
exactly, exactly. But what we choose to do, guys, is run our favorite segment, and that's quick hits. All right, y'all. So quick hits is where we get everything at a rapid pace. The hits are so quick you don't even see it coming. Guys, John Heyman of the New York Post reported that Steve Cohen and Pete Alonso's representatives have met again to reach a common ground. So are you telling me there's a chance Pete resigns, Dave?
I think he resigns, but I don't think if he resigns, I don't think Pete gets the money that he's been asking for. I think this is one of those like your pride is going to be put to the side, and Scott Boras is going to have to take that hit, and that is going to be for less. I definitely don't think that he's getting that money if he comes back to the Mets. Your thoughts?
Uh, get him back. That's it. That's it. Get it done. Get it done.
All right. All right. Tommy Canley's third stint with the Yankees has come to an end as the right-hand reliever agreed to 1 year, 7.75 million contract with the Detroit Tigers. Is this a big loss for the Yanks?
I like Tommy Canley, man. I've always liked Tommy Canley. I think, but one thing the Yankees do very well. That's develop bullpen arms. So I don't think it's a big hit, but all the luck to Tommy Kahnle as he's joining Gleyber Torres in Detroit. So it's cool. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver went on the Dan Patrick Show last Wednesday where he said he would consider the possibility of dropping from 12-minute quarters to 10-minute quarters. Is that the change people want, brother?
I don't know if it's the change that people want. It's one of those things that it's questionable. It's different from like we were talking about the NFL wanting to make 18 games, and that's completely different. That's a different schedule for them as well. I don't know how the people feel about this. I do imagine that also affects overtime minutes as well. But we'll see how this turns out. Your thoughts on this, if anything?
I just know that the minutes police, Tom Thibodeau, man, maybe we could benefit off that. It's two less minutes a quarter that the Knicks players are playing, so whatever.
All right. The WNBA megastar Caitlyn Clark will not participate in the special challenge during the NBA All Star Weekend. Her representative at Excel Sports said Wednesday she wants her first 3-point contest to come at the WNBA All Star Weekend in Indianapolis. Is this a good idea?
It's tough. I find it ironic that, her side said that because the rumors has it that her practice regimen is more she focuses on more catch and shoot, and she likes to dribble. She likes to practice off the dribble. I'm reading it now that she doesn't like getting it off the rack how a normal 3-point competition would be. I'm a little disappointed though. I'm a little disappointed after the success and the positive reactions from Sabrina going against Steph
Curry.
Curry, and personally me having a niece that likes basketball. I think it would have showcased even more, like, more eyeballs to the WNBA. So to be able to see Sabrina and Caitlin Clark arguably maybe go against a Curry and maybe a Klay Thompson, that would have been great to see. But she wants to show love to our peoples first, and she wants to, I guess, showcase her skills in front of the home fans in Indiana. But it sucks a little bit. But what can you do? Sacramento Kings are expected to open trade talks for a potential De'Aaron Fox. Straight ahead of the February 6th deadline, the Nets, Heat, Rockets, and Spurs are possible landing spots. What's your thoughts, brother?
So I'm looking at the teams that we have like here listed, and I think the best fit for him probably be the Nets as far as him, just because you are the guy. But because I think of the Rockets, and I'm just like the Rockets are second in the Western Conference, right? And I just see what do you have to give up to get De'Aaron Fox. Now I don't know what the value for De'Aaron Fox is, but I do think that team shakes up, and I don't think you're second in the Western Conference after all is said and done because of that trade. So I do think that the best landing spot for De'Aaron Fox would be Brooklyn, and he doesn't like the Knicks apparently. So that'd be interesting, a nice little rivalry to go on.
I got to kind of disagree with you on that. I think the best spot would be San Antonio Spurs. Him and Wemby. Wemby have the draft capital. They have the young players that Sacramento would want. And you got to, you're pairing up a prime De'Aaron Fox with a Wemby who hasn't even scratched the surface on what he can do in the league. That's crazy. I do, I'm not disagreeing that the Nets can't use him. They could. But I just think the better fit would be the San Antonio Spurs. Last night, was it this recording Saturday night? The Royal Rumble winners were Jay Uso and Charlotte Flair. Brother, what's your thoughts on those winners?
So I knew Charlotte Flair was going to win. She came back at the right time, and I am upset that we didn't get Becky. But it's one of those things that it's just you knew the writing was in the wall once you saw Charlotte Flair was coming back, and you know what? At the end of the day, she is the standard when it comes to WWE wrestling. Um, and then you have Jey Uso, who surprised everyone. I don't think anybody had him on their board. You decided John Cena, I decided Roman Reigns, and even towards the end, I was just like, "Oh wow, John Cena's." I called. I was like, "John Cena's gonna win," and we got shocked. I do like the movement for it, and it shows that they are investing in Jey Uso, which is helping because the Bloodline has, and I mentioned it to the group chat last night. The Bloodline and Cody has taken so much of that like space in there that so many matchups we could have got with WWE have not been there. It's just been the same storyline for almost 3 years now. So I am happy to see a little shakeup, and I'm interested to see where they go with Jey Uso.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble, it really shocked everyone with Jey Uso. I personally wanted John Cena. When I saw Cena and Uso and Jay, I was like, "Ugh, man, they're gonna set up my boy Cena like that." The fans are behind Jey Uso. the right man won. He'll get his WrestleMania moment. It reminded me a lot of well, Daniel Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble that year where he won it in 30, but it reminds me that he's gonna get that sort of Jey Uso's gonna get that Kofi Mania, Daniel Bryan kind of WrestleMania moment, which well deserved.
And
And
the
as far as
opponent is going
Charlotte,
to be great.
yeah, yeah. As far as Charlotte Flair goes, she's been out for a while, and like you said, she's the standard. She's the face that runs the place in that division. So kudos to them. It's a great Royal Rumble. I'm excited for that. But what I'm excited for is sharing you guys this week's highlight of the week.
He's on fire!
All right, y'all. So we are not closing out episodes without sharing the highlight of the week. And the highlight of the week for this week is our very own New York Knicks, baby. As the Knicks were looking showtime against the Denver Nuggets on both ends of the floor, where you saw Karl Anthony Towns block with a monstrous block, and it leads to the fast break where Jalen Brunson throws the alley-oop to Mikal Bridges, where you think, all right, he's going to give it that emphatic slam, but no, he goes with the finesse. He gets finesse on you. Man, the Knicks were looking good that game. Everything was clicking, and that play just showed that play was an embodiment of how the Knicks have been playing as of late. Even though we lost to the Lakers on Saturday night, we still had a good week, and that play was phenomenal.
Yeah, Big Bodega showed up, and it's one of those things that, you're turning it around. That talk about you being soft, you're doing the right things to turn that around. So thank you, Big Bodega, for showing up. And then, Jalen Brunson to Mikal. We've seen that since Villanova, and now we're seeing it pay off on the next court. So I love it.
Yeah, big time. Guys, this is going to wrap up this week's episode. But next week, we have a very special episode, guys, and a very special start time. Next week, as we all know, is the Super Bowl. And you guys are probably watching this episode today and thinking about, wow, David Omar did not cover the Super Bowl. They're not covering these teams because we're saving that next week. So next week, guys, we will have our very own Super Bowl preview show. So we're going to be discussing everything as far as matchups, everything, dissecting everything to the T with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And as I mentioned, it's going to be a special start time. So next week's episode will not be on Monday at 12 noon. You're going to get it one day earlier, baby, because you're going to get it Sunday at 12 noon. So you'll be able to tap in with your boys from the Ozone as we discuss everything of this Super Bowl on the day of the Super Bowl, guys. So next week's episode of the Ozone will be a Super Bowl preview show next Sunday, 12 noon. So when you getting everything, you getting your wings ready, you prepping everything for your Super Bowl party, have your boys on, listen to what we got to say, and you'll learn a lot of things. If you got your wives that know nothing about football, have them tap in so they can know. We're going to be covering even the halftime show. There's a lot of things to cover, guys. So as I mentioned, special episode next week, next Sunday, 12 noon, Super Bowl preview show.
You forgot to mention something else that makes it a little bit more special, bro. We haven't done it since the pilot. We're gonna be
Ah,
there's no video chat for this one. Me and Omar will be in person. I will be with Omar, and we will be recording that episode, giving it to you. We're gonna use one camera. We're gonna be side by side, and we're gonna be having a great episode. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you guys. Please tune in. Comment below. Is there any thoughts that you disagree? Do you think the Mavs made the right move for them? Do you think if you love the Lakers, comment purple and gold? I want to see what you guys think.
yeah, tap in with us and remember to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, where we post our daily shorts and we post everything with breaking news and everything like that. So, guys, we thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Ozone. We'll be back next week. Early start time, Sunday at 12 noon, Super Bowl preview show. Holla at your boys.
It's more than a
Peace.
podcast. It's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right. Welcome to the Ozone.
All right, y'all. So on Quick Hits, man, this is where we cover everything so quick, the hits you don't even see coming. Guys, John Heyman reported that the New York Post reported that Steve Cohen and Alonzo Mourning, let me change that up. That's Alonzo Mourning. All right.
Start from the top, bro.
All right. Yeah, yeah.